I was born by the river in a little town. Oh, and like the river I've been running ever since. It's been long time coming, but I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I don't wanna die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. Same thing? Hi, I'm Joe Curtis. Welcome to Mom's House, and this is Wonder. Many times you feel the fight to push your life uphill. So much is uneasy. Sweep the clouds, clear the noise that echoes through your brain, just like a passing storm. A heart will break apart for love it takes for granted, and tears will fall from eyes that cannot see. Gaze in wonder at all that you have. Riches more than any man could hold. The question still remains, why you would trade all your diamonds for fool's gold. Before the world goes spinning past, nothing's left at all. Put your mind at ease. Sweep the clouds, clear the noise that echoes through your heart, just like a passing storm. Oh, a heart will break apart for love it takes for granted, and tears will fall from eyes that cannot see. Gaze in wonder at all that you have. Riches more than any man could hold. The question still remains, why you would trade all your diamonds for fool's gold. You have riches more than any man could hold. The question still remains, why you would trade all your diamonds for fool's gold. Gaze what you have, riches more than any man could hold. The question still remains, why you would trade all your diamonds for fool's gold, all your diamonds for fool's gold. Gaze and wonder, gaze in wonder, gaze in wonder.
So whenever I interview someone, like for this show or for anything else, I like to try and sort of do as much research as I can beforehand in terms of listening to whatever I can find online, watching YouTube videos, things like that. And something that's come up that I've noticed with yours is you seem to be a fan of Sam Cooke. And I mean, you did the A Change Is Gonna Come for the Mom's House cover, and you have a video of you doing Bring It Home to Me, and obviously he's someone who inspires you. I'm also a big Sam Cooke fan, and I feel like I don't get opportunities to talk about him very much because I think a lot of people, I feel like he obviously gets the credit he deserves in certain circles, but I think a lot of people just kind of overlook him, maybe in the trajectory of how music has gone, and kind of miss his impact. So I have my own opinions of what I like about his sound, but I'm just wondering how his work kind of inspires you and what you get out of it.
Well, I mean, he's just a fantastic singer.
Yeah.
An unbelievable singer, and unbelievable songs, and it's an interesting character.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that I guess that my touchstone for Sam Cooke in particular is really the phrasing and the timbre of his voice.
Yeah,
it's the way he gets things across.
Well, that's very unique. His phrasing is super unique, especially for the time too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like a lot of artists that I particularly enjoy. There's a duality to his career, and then there's the stuff that's a little bit lighter, and then there's the stuff that's a little bit heavier.
Right.
And as I understand it, the story goes, for A Change Is Gonna Come, he had heard Blown in the Wind.
Yeah.
And was despondent that he hadn't written something
that was at that level, right?
At that level, right? And that kind of commentary. And then wrote that
which
song.
is like one of the best songs ever.
Oh yeah, it's crazy, right? And for this time any time in history, but particularly this time in history, it keeps coming back up. It's always relevant, right? Yeah.
Well, the one thing I think, not to dwell on Sam Cooke too much on this interview, because we're talking about you, but the one thing I always found interesting about him is if you listen to the two live albums, the two kind of major live albums he did, he has live at the Copa and then he has live at the Harlem Square Club. And that's exactly the two sides of his sound. I mean, because the Copa one is a dinner club. It's very reserved. It's very kind of the pop hits. Very not a lot of energy. Yeah. Aside from just the basic energy you have performing. But then the Harlem Square Club, the audience is super into it. He's just giving it It's really cool to hear. They're both amazing albums, but it's cool to hear that it's just two completely different sides.
Yeah, and I like that idea. I like that idea of having that, being able to have those different facets of your personality, and it's just as valid.
Absolutely.
The Beatles did the same thing, right? Like there's an era of Beatles that's it's all well written, it's all brilliant.
Yeah.
But you can glom onto any particular path one of those paths that they took, and it's its own thing.
Sure.
Whether it's like the Love Me Do stuff or it's like Glass Onion stuff.
Right.
It's like and people are fans of either all of it or just different portions or whatever.
And the cool thing about something like that too is it can open you up to different stuff, right? Because if you're listening to Sam Cooke because you like the Copa stuff, that the Supper Club, very subdued stuff, and then you happen to pick up the Harlem Square Club album because you like the artist and you really, holy crap, this is something it's
a whole other thing.
And that takes you to gospel and into soul and everything else. Yeah,
absolutely. Who knew, right? Yeah.
So absolutely. What? I mean, obviously you're playing today acoustically, and you do play the band as well.
I do.
Where do you think you fit in locally in the music scene? Because I mean, based on what I've heard today and what I've heard from your other stuff, is you could very easily be classified as a folk artist. You could very easily be classified as a rock artist, even with some of these songs. Some of them are even a little twangier. Like, where do you think you fit in? How do you sort of place yourself within the larger community, I guess? In
I don't know. I mean, that's a difficult thing for I think when you're in it to sort of where you sit. But yeah, it's kind of all of those things. It's hard to pick just one.
Right.
And I think going to what we were just talking about, like I don't necessarily think you have to.
No, no.
For a lot of other folks, they like to be able to stick it in a box. I guess it's like it's a singer. I'm a singer-songwriter. That's the way I look at it more than anything. But when I play with the band, it's a rock band.
Yeah.
You know, but you have different gears that you can go through, and I like the idea of not having to be just this one thing.
Right.
You know. Yeah.
Do you have a preference for? I mean, would you rather play solo or with a band, or is it just a different experience for you?
Yeah, different experience. I love them both. With the band, it's awesome because it's just like kaboom. There's that factor, which is awesome, and I've got a great band. Ross Clausen on bass and Rob Waite on drums, and they're fantastic musicians, and we have a great simpatico. It's awesome. So that's a whole thing when the band gets going and you get a nice room and you have that energy going.
Yeah.
But solo stuff is it's a different energy, and it allows you to be a little bit more of a one-to-one kind of storyteller.
Sure.
Which is really nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a totally different dynamic, and you loosen up a little bit in certain ways. Not that you're not loose when you're playing with the band, but just in a different way.
Well, and especially if you have lyrics that you really want to get across too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And what I find is when I'll play the same song sometimes with the band and solo.
Yeah.
But you get invested in different ways in the music, depending on the format. So there's certain songs that are just that you really are feeling when you're singing them solo, that you feel them when you're singing them with the band, but not it's just in a different way.
Different energy.
Yeah.
Do you write, when you're writing songs, do you specifically think this is going to be a song for the band versus this is a solo song, or is it just these are your songs and they go where they go?
No, you know what? I learned I've been fortunate enough to do like lots of sideman gigs and whatnot, and working with a bunch of different artists. I learned a very important lesson a long time ago, that when you're writing songs, ideally, they should work in multiple formats.
Right.
So if you write the song, you should be able to make it work, and it should be just as valid and just as cool if you're playing it by yourself, if you're playing it with a single accompanist, if you're playing it with a full band, if you're playing it with the expanded band.
Yeah.
It's the song should be greater than that whole thing. Yeah. So I try to when I'm writing, try to just cut the fat and try and get to what does this need to be,
right.
And then I've got better odds of that. It's going to work when I just sit down and play it. It's going to work when I bring it to the band and we work it up.
Okay, so you want something that's just universally, it's going to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
And it's nice to have the freedom to it's your song, so you can rearrange it and do it, all kinds of different ways.
Yeah. That's cool. So when you mentioned you've done the sideman gigs and stuff, is that what you started out doing before you started?
Yes. Yeah. I did. I've done, still do a little bit, sort of gun for hire kind of stuff, and get to play with a lot of really cool folks, and it's really neat because you get a peek inside their process.
Sure. Yeah.
Writing and playing and whatnot, and that's really been educational. It's like an informal education in songwriting and music construction and playing.
Is that mainly as a guitarist, or?
Yes. Yeah. I come from a drumming background, actually.
Really?
That's my original instrument, but so that informs pretty much everything that I do. But I've had all these experiences playing with other people, largely as like playing guitar and singing harmonies and singing behind people.
Cool.
Yeah.
How does the drumming background fit into your guitar playing? Do you feel like more rhythmic elements coming?
Absolutely, yeah. Time is everything. Phrasing is everything.
Yeah.
Whether
back to what we were saying before.
Yeah, that's what we were saying before. Yeah. For singing, playing guitar, phrasing is absolutely everything. And drumming taught me that.
Sure. Yeah.
It's and that it keeps informing everything that I do. There's not a day that goes by that I'm just like, well, that's a good thing that I come from that kind of thing, or that I hear things that way.
Do you still play drums?
I do. Yeah. I do. Not as much as I'd like to. That's fine. Yeah. I'd like to be. I'd like to even sit in with some people, do some gigs and stuff like that. Would be nice. But
cool. Yeah. One another thing I noticed just listening to your songs is that regardless of what the song is particularly about, you tend to have. And I don't know if this is something you're doing on purpose or if it's just something that the way it comes out. Mm-hmm. But it seems almost kind of mournful like the way you sing. I think it's got, and I mean, based on the style of music you're playing, which as we've established is kind of hard to define. Yeah. But like, I mean, if you were just say a blues singer, that would be the natural way that the vocals come out, right? Because that's a kind of a hallmark of the style. But what you're doing, is that something you're aesthetically going for, or is that just kind of how you end up delivering?
Yeah, I think maybe that's it's not a purposeful thing. Okay. I don't think if it comes to it's a.
And I don't mean it in a negative way at all.
No,
I mean,
I know. I hear what you're saying.
Sort of, yeah.
No, I hear what you're saying. That's I don't think it's it's not a conscious thing, but I guess it's kind of related that a conscious decision that I do make is to kind of focus on rather than just like the purely light or the purely dark. Right. It's like because life is mostly gray. And
sure,
you know, right? So it's all of those things in there, and I am drawn to things that are like the mildly wistful, or you know, not you know, it's like a sunny day, but there's a single cloud kind of thing. It's like, you know, it just
and focus on the cloud because that's the interesting part of the
really, like, you know, that's the I'm drawn to that kind of thing. You know,
okay, cool. Yeah. Have you recorded any of your stuff? Like, do you have any albums that are out of your own material?
I have no albums that are out. I'm currently working on largely at my my own little home studio.
Cool.
There's some stuff that I've got posted online on my site, but it's a work in progress.
Yeah,
it's a work in progress.
Well, I mean, you've obviously recorded with other people as well, right? Didn't you sideman?
So yes.
How does it differ when you're sitting down and recording your own stuff? Because you know you're recording for someone else, you're kind of taking your skills to their song. And it's sort of their gig, right?
Yeah.
But is it a lot more difficult to sort of put your own work down on record?
Sometimes, sometimes, because you have to switch hats, right? Like when it's really easy if I'm working for someone else. The way I look at it, my marching orders is whatever it is that I have to bring to the table is entirely in the service of whatever it is that they need. So if they need me to play, I play. If I don't play, I don't play. Whatever it is that, you know, whatever they need. And when you're doing your own thing, you're there to express yourself, but you don't want to get to a point where it's overindulgent, too self-indulgent, maybe too strong, but kind of that type of thing.
Right, you're doing it too wanky.
So you're like you're constantly switching hats. It's just like now I'm a guitar player hat, and now I'm the producer hat. I don't know, it's not so much. Don't do that. And so you have to kind of sort of figure all that out. And one of the benefits of being a songwriter and in the way that I construct songs, I guess I should say, is I try to think of the whole thing as a whole, like the drums, the bass, the you know, the whole thing. Like, how's this going to all work together at the end of the day? Rather than just here's the song and instruments. Yeah, rather than just it's just the guitar lick, or just it's like, this will make sense when it's placed against this, which will make sense when it's placed against this under this groove. Yeah, it's
probably a unique way of looking at it. I think a lot of people will just, especially someone who's singing and playing guitar, that's kind of all they think about. Then they add everything else after the fact. Right?
Yeah.
Is that just from your background of having played multiple instruments? Is that sort of like because you know what the drums are going to sound like?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because when I'm writing on guitar is my writing instrument. I'm thinking in terms of like, what would be the rhythmic support to this, and then that informs what would underpin that, like what in the bass, how would that come together to support that. So when I'm playing X or Y or Z, I'm not just hearing that and the vocal. It's like that and the vocal, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, and then the bass would probably do, and then the drums would be, yeah.
Do you write lyrics first or music first, or do they both sort of come together?
It differs. It varies. Sometimes they both come together. Sometimes you just get a really good, and one will just one inspires the other.
Sure.
Yeah. That's not uncommon. You come up with a melody, and then it puts you in a certain place emotionally, and then you think, and you're thinking about a certain stuff. You get a line, you build off that line.
Is that easier to do than coming up with lyrics first and trying to fit music to them, or is there?
No, I think it's equally as challenging to do either way.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes because it's just the same thing in reverse. The words will inspire melodies.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Are you a writer who kind of like, does something come to you and you have a song right away, or do you painstakingly work on it? Because I think there's sort of two ways people tend to go. Right? Mm-hmm. It's either song comes in your head, boom, done, you've got a song, or it's tinkering and kind of tweaking and stuff. Right? Which one would you fit in?
You know what? I used to believe in the whole flash of lightning thing. Like
Yeah.
you just have to wait for the muse
The
to strike and
inspiration, yeah,
the
yeah,
inspiration and those are great. It's great when you have those moments where it's just like, you turn a corner, it's like boom, song, there you go, and away you go. But what I've come to believe is that it is a craft. So you have to work it.
Sure.
And you'll have more of those lightning moments if you're working the craft.
Okay.
So it's not always easy, but it's like putting aside some time to on a regular basis to just work the craft. And
I guess it comes easier once you've got all that experience.
yeah, it'll come easier because you're gonna write lots of songs, you're gonna write lots of stuff, and you're gonna write lots of garbage.
Yeah,
it's just
for
the
sure,
way
yeah.
that it is. You're gonna have to write your way through it, right?
Yeah.
And I'll do that. I'll start on something and just be like, I don't know where this is. I don't know. But you finish it.
Yeah.
And
the garbage, I guess, can sometimes turn into something.
absolutely, you never
very
throw it
inspiring.
away.
Yeah.
You finish it, and in this moment, as it sits, it's garbage.
Right.
But you let it sit for a while, and you never know. You come back to it 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years later, and you
Sure.
go, "That's second verse. That's what I need in this song." Or,
Yeah.
Or I should have gone to this chord rather than that chord, and then the whole song changes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So what are you going to play next?
I'm playing this evening.
What song are you going to play next on this show here?
On this show, like
On
you
this
mean
show,
like
right
now?
today. Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
This evening's good too, but people won't see it by the time.
We'll play Under Restless Stars.
Awesome, cool.
I am listening to your voice, singing me home before the night is done. Every moment that I spend following you down is heaven sent. Even when you're gone, I can hear you sing. Even when you're gone, I can hear you sing. Well, I'm waiting for the sound, 'cause the melody takes me home. Will you meet me in the air to sing me home before the night is done? Even when you're gone, I can hear you sing. Even when you're gone, I can hear you sing. I am sleepless, I am done under restless stars. I've run. Each thought in the sky leads back to another road, another path. Even when you're gone, I can hear you sing. Even when you're gone, I can hear you sing.